live?
No.
Yes.
Alright.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hey.
We are live. We're just gonna give the guys a few minutes to share these links so that we can get our followers noticing that we are live.
Correct.
But we are live. Welcome, everyone.
Yes. Alright.
Turn up. Sorry.
Audio.
Yeah. Alright, so we're just gonna wait for some persons to gather to come in. We want that you share the link as well with everyone. Today we're discussing the garbage issue, the licensing authority issue, a number of issues we would be talking about today. So we could be discussing it, and we want your input as well as we discuss these. So we, as I said, we really want that you share it with your people. We want that you follow. We want to hear your issues as well as it pertains to what you think about this garbage issues that is going on. Garbage issue, and what you think about what's going on with the sewage issue as well, because that is important. So we want that you tune in.
Transport as well, I guess.
Transport, yeah, we could talk about a number of stuff today. So we want that you give your views and feel free to tell us how you feel about things and how you feel about what is going on. We will definitely be able to share it as well. So we want that you please share it. Share it in the chats.
Correct.
Share it with
your
friends, for the links, and let's have a discussion as it relates to this listening issues that we are seeing now in Barbados that's been transparent, having a whole place in a uproar, and we want that you follow.
Speaking of uproar, though, Kimara, the past couple of weeks, but even up to last week, the sun. I mean, the heat that we've been having going, let me tell you, man.
That's big. The heat has
brutal,
been crazy.
Brutal heat, 34 degrees, all kind of stuff, man.
I'm always one that ignore it for the mere fact that I live in the tropics. And I was well, I live in the tropics. I've been mixed between hot and cold already.
Yeah.
So for me, like, I just bounce it off because I know what it is to be in.
I think I heard that 2 weeks ago, Shop Smart actually sold out on ACs and fans.
Units
and fans. Yeah, ACs and fans.
I have friends even asking me about burning ACs.
The heat is serious. It's serious heat, and you know that once you're getting so much heat too, it has implications for bad weather. Storms, but the heat was really feedy storms.
Yeah. But you remember, I think it was last year, a year before, when a lot of people were just dropping down dead randomly, like people were just falling down, and we didn't know why people were just falling down. So we know that these things are real.
I know actually animals that actually died last week. No, maybe before because of the
heat stroke.
The heat and stuff like
these
that.
Are the dogs.
Yeah.
And there's some people complaining now as it relates to losing crops and stuff like that due to the same weather. So we see that there's a lot of people that are affected by the fact that the heat.
Yeah.
People are losing animals, crops are drying up. I mean, I'm a small farmer too, so I feel in it as well when I see that my crops are drying up because I don't have enough water, or also I don't have
you don't have enough water, but up in the country something like that water at all.
But no, that beyond water though. I mean, Barbados it's always been said that Barbados is a water scarce country, and I think that we have to give homeowners and even landlords and so on more incentive to have water tanks or some kind of water catchment to harness water, and not just the traditional water coming off the rooftops. I think there's some parts around the world, I think like in Africa, they have like screens to catch the dew. So you put up a screen during the a netted screen, and the dew forms on it and it trickles down, and you capture that water as well.
Right.
So I think we have to look at smart ways to.
But the thing is that I was in concert a couple people over the weekend, and they were telling me that they didn't get water at all to even put in tank. I remember when it was in Bagatelle, and I mean I actually moved out of Bagatelle because of lack of water.
Are you serious?
I mean, you get up in the morning, no water. Then if it finally come on, you can't rush a bath because you gotta go or whatever. You come back home, no water. The water just come on the hours that people sleeping. So I mean, I couldn't take it. I was there for a couple of years. It wasn't that bad. Like in the last couple of the last year, it was really really horrible.
I think I
And
came
the thing
across.
about it is that it was very difficult to get Bros Water Authority truck to come in that area. They used to come and go at the top. That was I was just below the NTW depot,
Right.
below Lucky Horseshoe.
Mm-hmm.
And for me to get a water, I had to call a shop and make a phone call and get water come to my house
Not good.
just to get water.
So imagine people that ain't got no one to call.
I hear today on the news just before coming here, the Prime Minister would have talked about having a plan put in place to save the water authority. So I'm still yet to hear that full plan.
But we gotta give credit to the water authority though, because they're trying. This has been an ongoing problem even since the last administration.
But the thing about it is that
It's
the
ongoing.
reason why it's also difficult because we lose majority of our water underground.
That's right.
And obviously, unless you go and pay us a company like RG Plumbing or whatever that have sensors that could check for leaks underground.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, you don't know where the leaks are, and a
That's
lot of our
right.
pipes are very
Hundreds
very
of
old.
years old. Hundreds.
I got a
years.
friend that was doing he into selling water systems, and he was saying the quality of water in like St. Philip where you were. And he mentioned some other parishes. He said is very, 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 very bad. Oh, he sells filters.
Yes.
So he was saying for those areas, people need filters.
Mm-hmm.
And when they did the test, the water in those areas didn't pass the test.
Calcium content and so on.
So people then the health
Yes.
issues now can be involved when it comes to these things.
Kidney stones and so on. Yeah. Ain't good.
Well, I mean, I said welcome to everyone. Today we're discussing a number of issues. We're just going to be talking roughly though. We don't have any guests today, and we've always wanted to have a moment on the show where we really talk
That's
about
right.
issues. And today we want your questions, we want your feedback, because today we're going to be talking definitely about this garbage issue and licensing
boy.
issue. But let's first hit on the licensing issue. And one of my the thing is for me is that I was at licensing authority in this mad rush on, I think it was last week Friday. I went there. I paid for, because I was actually getting a car, and I went to get it weighed, and I weighed the car, pay the money, get it weighed. Then I realized after getting it weighed, I have to come back out to the line, get it weighed, and then go back in the line to pay. And I'm saying to myself, why isn't there a pay window at the weight table, or why can't you pay for both
Services.
at the same time? So imagine now you spend hours in this line to pay for a weight certificate, and then come out to the line and spend and go in the line, wait for the car to be weighed, and then go back in that line. Now on my way to that line, after I got weighed and I saw the long line, I said, well look, let me leave this and not get weighed, not pay for the weight here, for the road tax here. Let me go down to Hotel. Go on Hotel burst. Alright? Left Hotel. I say in good town.
But will you pass warnings to go with them?
Warrants?
Yeah.
There's one of warrants?
Yeah, the same
Yes.
building, the brown building, right? The
Where is that?
Yeah, which is when okay, you got Republic Bank one side, KFC. Oh,
Yeah,
to
go
the
up.
left.
Oh,
up on the other left.
up on it. I passed that, went down to work, came back. After I went down, I saw the line burst in town. I said, let me go back now to Wildy. Went back to Wildy. And on Friday, the funny thing is, while waiting outside, because I get inside yet, the rain came down.
Where was your umbrella, man?
Where was the umbrella? I mean, people were underneath this little area there that the roof is hanging over, and they're squatting for the rain. But because of how the wind was blowing, you either had to run up on the steps, but there wasn't no more room up there for a lot of people. So people had to stand there, get wet, or some of the people had to run underneath the shed where they just do the inspecting. Now, if you go underneath the shed with the inspecting, by the time the rain finish and the people line back up, you lose your spot.
Jeez.
On top of that, the people that were there now to take the licensing test were taking the driving test, were standing up in a long line. The man came out and holler,
Wait, in Hotel, you could take
No.
her test in Hotel?
no, you had to go to the licensing authority.
Oh.
The man came out and holler, I'm dealing with nobody from today Are you only dealing with people from yesterday?
Shit.
So the people was like, she's on, and you're hearing this hot sun. It must have been only people from yesterday. I said, alright.
That's bad.
I go on back down to town. Thinking town would be better. I had to come back up again.
Shit.
When I got up there, I went into the same area looking to see what's going on. I lost no who doing what. Got into the area where the people were supposed to put in their documents to go for the driving test.
Yeah.
When I got there now, I saw about probably 20 people in the room sitting down, all this, people just breathing like this here, so up. I said, wait, what going on in here? People said, I know. I said, wait, but you got nobody here. So I gone upstairs now. I said, excuse me, sir. I go up and knock by the room door. 2 people in there saying, no, breathing. I said, excuse me, sir. Anybody downstairs? Well, the people from downstairs go on lunch. And they ain't guaranteed they coming back neither.
Oh.
And that was about 2 o'clock. I was like, what you trying to tell me? You ain't nobody. I said, sir, but that's wicked though, because people downstairs, they don't know they don't have the knowledge I just had. So I went back downstairs. I said, but people, just don't waste one time. The people at lunch, and they said they may know if they're coming back. And then to see the people getting wet, I did a video on Facebook Live to highlight it. But you want to know saying? The service at Licensing Authority was so poor that the internet service was even poorer, and they went through.
Shit.
And I felt really bad to see, one, the line extremely long, people getting wet,
in the elements.
people in the sun earlier, people sitting up in a room not even knowing that the people not coming back. And then, what top it off, they had a shed that was there, full of chairs, full of furniture, an old service, I think the old weight being. And I said to myself, well, why can't we set up something underneath there that the people could go underneath there and wait by a ticketing system and say, well, no serving 1 to 10.
Yeah, that's right.
So 1 to 10 could come and the rest could sit down and wait, because you have to know by now that your load at Licensing Authority over the years have been heavy. So if it have been heavy, you have to make accommodation for the heaviness.
Yeah, expand a bit.
It is crazy up there.
Yeah, I think that by gleaning through the newspaper too, we're not too sure if some kind of industrial action happened. But they would say was it some kind of protest or whatever. When the workers said they weren't coming back from lunch. When they said they weren't coming back from lunch, it means that the Licensing Authority workers were done for the day.
They were done literally in the sense that they said the guy upstairs said they don't know if they're coming back. There was no industrial action, because when I went into some room, I saw people Licensing Authority in some room saying no with customers. I swear there was customers too. But they were there having lunch, and the people don't even know in between them. So
I think that in the 21st century, everybody can't be going to lunch the same time. I think you mentioned
everybody
that already,
goes to lunch the same time.
Everybody can't go to lunch the same time. You got to stagger it. So if people going to lunch from 11 to 12, then you got the 12 to 1 people or whatever, you got to stagger it. You can't.
That's really one.
Guys, we want to hear your comments as well. What you think about this?
The next thing is, and it's not only Licensing Authority, it has hurt me to go out to pay for anything whatsoever. Whether it be Licensing Authority, whether it be in a bank, and see they got 7, 6, 8 kiosks.
Yeah.
And when you got 2 people working, 3 people working.
Yeah, the 6 at lunch.
I was getting reported back in Barbados in Warrens, and they got like 6 or whatever number numbers, and go there and see 2 people working, 3 working. What do you send to pay in 5 or 6 kiosks for?
That's right.
It make no sense.
If you
know you ain't bought that much workers, do not put them. Wasting time, it looks bad.
But I think I hear a caller called it and said, if you know that you're going to call for a mad rush, and we know Beijing's quote unquote by culture is a last minute.
Very last minute.
Now, if you know that going to be there, I don't see why you can't pull out some of those persons from the mitigation unit that has been sent home
looking for
and
something.
give them a 2 or 3 day training session on how to insert or how to do what. And let them come in and work for a couple of days.
When it comes to any month,
you
know people's flock. Hire some people to come in for that particular period.
Correct. It can't be the business as usual.
No.
Because at the end of the day, yes, I hear the thought that we are moving to a more digital era. But here's the point. We're not there. So we have to accommodate getting there.
That's right.
And until we recognize that, we can't say, okay, I'm going to move Barbados forward in 2020, in 2030, but I have to suffer to 2030. It should not be.
Should not be.
But
Because to see people getting wet in that, that wasn't nice.
And saying that, in terms of the more digital era and the making changes, what I find that is a problem also is that in making these changes, we're not doing it right. For example, they're using a new system at the port.
That's the cool world.
Yeah.
So because of this same system they're using, the shut off the old one,
Right.
bring in the new one. The new one ain't working properly. That was our fault. And a lot of people goods.
A lot of businesses
Yes.
had stress.
I wait for the school start almost be out in school.
Yeah, true. Almost 3
Good.
weeks now.
And Brennan's forever. It had a particular book that I wanted for my daughter.
Jeez.
When you get to there,
That's fair.
I called another company that I used to deal with, and they told me, oh, they got stuck in City Port. Now, it would have made sense in terms of bringing a new system. You still have the old system running
Yeah, that's
until
right.
the new system is fully operating,
concurrently.
and then you shut it off.
Correct.
But you can't shut off one, shut off the old, and bring the new,
And the new
the
working.
new working.
But no, I
So
think,
you're
I think
not
what
still
had me,
new.
what had me with the Asakuna changeover is that even when I saw after the whole noise came about, they were looking now to do training for the agents, for the custom agents, and the people. I was like, what the hell?
But you start before they're ready. You start before they're ready.
Implementation is a problem that we
Yes,
have
sir.
to deal with.
Yes.
It is a serious
Yeah,
problem.
it's a problem because at the end of the day, you're working in civil service, you're working privately. You don't want that when you have to go to licensing authority. It can take you 2 and 3 hours from your job. It don't make no sense.
I mean, a whole day.
And a whole day. I mean, if you clear goods from the port, oh Lord.
And
that's
speaking
not-
about this a whole day, I went and deal mine at the end of August when mine was due. And I went to the branch in Warrens. Luckily for me, they only had like 2-3 people in the line at that given time.
Good.
And listen to the story now. When I went, I remember seeing about 4 persons behind the window. But you know, out of that 4, only 2 were working. I tell myself, but if it is that only 2 people here working, what's the sense that the bloody other 2 people here for? They should be the background working, I can't see you.
Filing,
It
doing
looks
something.
bad.
Yeah, it looks bad.
So anyways, in waiting to get to deal with my business, I asked the lady, you know that these times for working, these times that government offices are opening, that deal with money and deal with paying for services, and working.
3 o'clock in practical.
You cannot have, in this day and age 2020, in the 2019, sorry, have offices opening at 8 or 7, whatever, 8 o'clock and shutting at 3 o'clock. Because it don't work at 4, but it should have treated to cover whatever work they got to do. That don't make sense because therefore a man working 8 to 4, the same time as them, have to take an hour from his work to come and deal with that situation.
That's right.
So what happens now? If 1,000 people in Barbados do the same thing, that means production is going on in that particular company.
That's right.
Therefore, I suggest to them at that given time, instead of opening for 8, open for 10. Run bit of 10 to 6 or 10 to 7. And she go on, oh, people coming here early. I said, if they got people coming early, therefore you then open and have 1 teller or 2 tellers to deal with that early crowd that come early.
Exactly.
But open for 7 because when you open and finish at 7 o'clock or 6, it gives the people, majority of Barbados does finish work at 4:30, 5 o'clock. Therefore, these people have time that they can leave work and go and deal with their business.
Right.
You don't have to cut out an hour for lunch and spend 2-3 hours.
That's what
How
happens.
much of those people over the last 2 days left out work to go and deal because they want to get
Even on
$5,000?
even on the news, people are saying
Crazy.
today that they had to leave and come back. And as I said to you, while I was there, I know people that went for driving tests. And the man came on and said, I'm dealing with nobody for today. I only dealing by yesterday.
That's wrong because
wrong.
what should
Wrong.
really happen is that these people should have been contacted the
Or
day
notified,
front
yeah.
and let them know, look, we have a backup here going on. There's an issue. We cannot have you today. We'll give you a different date.
Barry asking, he wondering when the Easy Pay platform starts. But the question is, Barry, is if the Easy Pay platform would accommodate paying for license.
Exactly.
So
But
even though that is starting, we have to ask the question. I still haven't learned a lot on what the Easy Pay platform
True.
is or what you can pay online with.
True.
Because I know that they're not going to roll out Barbados one time to say, okay, go and pay from the Easy Pay. They're probably going to do it in a like a transitional kind of
course,
piece by piece. So we have to find out if that also includes a large portion of people.
And honestly, if we can take all the different experiences that we have had over the past couple months in implementation, I think with that Easy Pay or something, whatever it is, we need to do one particular service at a time.
Yeah.
And then you use it that way. All the teething problems or the issues that can come about, because they will come, you deal with it, but it's only for one particular company business.
I remember when I think SurePay is almost 10 years old. SurePay, that we know people go to pay bills and so on.
Yeah, that was about
around 2010 or I don't know, around that time.
Yeah, almost.
And you would have seen how it would have become at first, as Bajans, whenever something new introduced, people were a little skeptical and had a little teething problems, but now SurePay is the way to go. More recently too, I got the B Mobile app on my phone, where I actually put money on the phone. I can use the phone at certain merchants that accept B-Money. M-Money, sorry, give me B-Mobile. M-Money. M-Money. I can put M-Money on the phone and then the M-Money can be used at certain merchants. And I'm hoping that with the transition towards digital, you can go online, but I think there's some of the things you have to do. You can go online to get a police certificate of character. You apply for it online.
Yeah, I commend the Attorney General for that.
Yeah, that's
very
important.
good.
Was that police certificate?
Yeah, because to get a certificate of character, you used to have to wait
Get this building and walk out.
I know, because I do private security also as a business for the site, and I had some of my staff that wanted to get a security license, and they told me that they tried calling, and they told me there's no way, it's a waste of time calling, you gotta go. You see, the problem in Barbados is that he's got to know somebody somewhere to get site service.
But it should not be so, because the average man does not know somebody.
Correct.
No, and again, you may know somebody, but they probably, they may not know you.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if you're saying that you're moving for the country, now, our conversation seems to be all over because there's so much issues, right? We've touched on that issue. Just to go back on that, let's not talk issue before we go forward. This should, as I said, the recommendation that we could make, and our followers and viewers could make as well, is that they need to be my biggest problem with the licensing authority right now, as I see, accommodation needs to be made properly.
Correct.
There's a bond there that is doing nothing, and I don't see why people can't be made to sit underneath there.
Exactly.
And a number system is done. Secondly, the poor, nasty communication needs to change. Because it ain't no way that I have an appointment for today, and I come to my appointment, and the man gonna juke himself out. He ain't even put his body out because he ain't even want me in the sun. He can juke his head out of a door. And look at the people that in the line that have an appointment and say to them, I'm dealing with it today, I only dealing with those
for yesterday.
That is wrong.
Disrespectful.
No apology, no good morning, and then when you gotta ask some of them questions, they behave like they own the place, or they behave like some frazzle fowl. That you have to ask them the question, and you have to tell them nothing, and you have to be frustrated with the system. That too must stop. And I can call on the minister or the ministers in charge with the licensing authority to deal with that. And I always say that if the underlings don't know how to talk to people, bring the upper link, because they could, if they gonna apologize, they should come and say, ma'am, sir, I want to apologize today for the inconvenience. I want to apologize for the whatever, and deal with people like human beings. Because far too much, and you're getting in there, you're asking a man a question, well, you're gonna go across there, well, you're gonna sit down here and wait.
You go wrong
and you get on like if you're in a, like, I can't even say, it would be far-fetched for me to say you're in jail, because I don't believe that treatment should even extend there. But these people, the street people, too bad. And even when asking, and I said I was a product of that on Friday, you can't ask them nothing.
Not good.
And it's not in this time, if they don't know how to deal with people, push them aside and bring people that can deal with people. But the suggestion is, I think there is a bond there. I saw this, I take a picture of the bond. It ain't gone cheers. It ain't gone in all for the cabinet.
This is at the point?
At the point.
Well, where the bond is that you talking about?
When you go around by the weight, board, is the old weight bond.
Oh, okay.
So you have a bond that you can put people under.
Correct.
That people just sit down and shelter them for the elements, because nobody gonna want to buy anything. So why not use the bonds? I have a picture that I took of that bond, because I felt really disturbed to see people get wet, to see people up in there looking like they can faint. You understand? The heat, everything, and then on top of it, the bad treatment, the long line, the constant running up and down for the rain elements, because you're in the line, I had to run out the rain, and when I get back, I didn't get back my spot. So my spot detect, because I didn't get back close here. For instance, some people were taking the late June. So those who taking the late June now, but when it came down hard, it was hard for people.
Yeah,
so they need to think, you should be able to pay online and have a sticker mailed to you. And that is the pay online and have these things collected at several different locations or your choice.
Another issue though, is the sticker. Placing a sticker on the license plate outside. I guess it's easy for the police to see sticker if they're behind you. But you gotta look at the fact of
you really see that?
Well, I will figure out the only reason why that the pipe there. Because if there's no other reason that other than that, it is bare nonsense.
Correct. But usually police,
people can't read a license plate. People can't read a sticker.
You can't read a whole plate now.
Yeah, I know somebody reached today actually went in, had to go and file a police report.
Yeah,
because somebody stole his license plate. No, sorry, his license plate dropped off. So therefore he had to go and file. He got to go make a report to get a replacement.
Yeah.
But there are also people that
there's a guy on the news that's
stealing stickers.
Yeah. So I think the system, the system as it is, although it solves one problem, it creates.
But the thing is,
it creates another.
Well, following that about, because I heard on the news coming out that there was this guy that talked about his getting stolen.
Yeah.
Now, on the front of the sticker, on the thing has a barcode.
The disc.
So the disc.
But the disc, and they say you don't have to affix it.
They don't have to affix it. But what I'm saying is, if my sticker got carried away, and I go back to the license authority, yes, I get the police report. They should be able to scan that barcode and say, oh yeah, you're in the system. But it's just that right now you more have to probably prove that the sticker was carried away and you didn't willfully give somebody to drive out, which I don't feel you will give somebody.
But you can prove that even so?
Never prove it.
I mean, well, whatever the police report would say, they got carried away from this.
There was a gentleman on the Cardiac program saying the same thing to some degree. An older gentleman, he was saying that how hard the police could identify the different cars, because once I take off the plate, I could put it on any vehicle. I could put it on any private car, any Jeep, whatever. Because before with the disc, you would see with the disc when the police stop, the first thing you go and look for is the disc. But the disc gives you the year and the make of the vehicle.
And the license plate itself.
Yeah, that's not a year, but this is the make of the vehicle. And I think the color. Making the vehicle and color.
The type of the vehicle, and it's a give license plate, so you know that was the right thing.
Funny enough, you know, unless it happened recently, I don't think the police have the technology that they could get back in their vehicle and check on a particular license plate. I was told that currently, or in the past, because I don't know if it changed, that the police had to do a license 32 to get these vehicles checked. And then the next thing that brought to my attention today was that we have to get checked out, but it was said that is it actually illegal to have anything on your license plate. So if that is true, we are now abiding by a law by having it on. We are also breaking law by having it on.
It's true.
So therefore, amendments need to be made if it is true.
Yeah,
right. So I think they will make an amendment to have that. But I think
that
they'll probably do amendments.
But you don't think the amendment should have come out before?
Well,
there's nonsense.
But I hear also the Prime Minister talking today on the news saying that there will be also an extension by a month for persons to get the stickers on. Now here's what there's one of my things that I have a problem with. It was being promoted long enough for Barbadians to get the stickers on.
That's right.
But yes, the Prime Minister understands that because of the country, the system also was faulty, flawed, and it did break down at certain times, which allowed them for people to have to come back.
Correct.
But also not having enough tellers, which she alluded to, not having enough tellers and not having enough people is also ridiculous. So my thing is that yes, we have a country that is late, but I think that these are things that the ministers needs to be the one addressing. I find that too much time the leader, the Prime Minister, having to address these issues that these ministers have been placed in this position to address. So it's like you're putting a load on her, because if I go into a meeting with the Prime Minister, she said to me, well, Kimar, yes, we need to give a month extension. I don't see why Minister Duguid or Minister Phillips should not be the one as the ministers in charge of
Vocalizing
this
it,
thing to come and say to the public, the prime minister, through the ministry, they didn't even have to credit the prime minister, but the ministry has looked at the issue and decided to grant in favor an additional 1 month extension.
Yeah.
But you're finding that too much, especially with this ministry as it relates to the licensing authority, that the prime minister always having to come and intervene.
What is with bus fares with the 350?
It's unfortunate that every single thing that this ministry have tried to implement was problems.
It is
very unfortunate.
It is.
So we have to look at who's the consultant to the ministries, to the ministers, and see or the minister, whoever, because this is ridiculous to the largest extent.
I don't think how it was rolled out. That's the thing about it. Sometimes, and it goes across some ministries. The implementation, you mentioned that, is the implementation of these programs that's always the problem. Is it? I remember years ago too, there was an issue with John Bustin, but there was a big PR push through GIS. That's one thing I can say. But GIS really pushed the, all right, you got 2 lanes of traffic now going the same direction, you give way to the car on your right while you're supposed to, right? Whoever meets you on the boat first, with the John Bustin going northbound, southbound, you do what you got to do. And there was a big public awareness push about it. And that's what you need.
Yeah, but also the fact that you need to come away from just the GIS. I think government needs to come away from just that. There's social media. And I always tell people, you cannot just post something on social media expecting them to do video. You have to do videos, but you also have to pay for it to get to the masses. You can't just come now on Facebook. On Facebook is only give like 3% reach now because they want you to pay. It's something $1 for something to go a long way. I think we need to find, or the government need to find a PR company that they can put some money into, like whether it be a 10,000 a year, and let them push the policy. You have the GIS, or put the money in GIS if that's the government information service, but let them pay these dollars or these $2 or $5 to boost, because $5 boost is actually 30,000 views. You cannot, and when you check on GIS, if you go onto GIS right now, we will see that the following for GIS, and let me just put in government information service here. The following is, they have about 20,000 persons that like the page, and about 23,000 following. But again, there's only a percentage of those 23 will be reached because Facebook is cutting back to make a profit.
Correct.
So you need to be able to put these $2, $20 to make these things bigger.
And therefore, going forward, each ministry could have an allocation of money that they can spend for social media. Period. And it's good too, because like even like with traffic alerts and so on, but that's the thing too. Now you're not supposed to use your cell phone when you're driving. But I guess you can put over and use it. But the radio and so on, let people know about the traffic alerts, what's happening on the road.
Or use Beijing Alert.
Yeah, use Beijing Alert, right?
We have Beijing Alert. Always let that go.
Exactly.
Right? But we need to look at these things, and I think that this ministry, underneath the Ministry of Public Works and Transport and Maintenance, they need to really look at how they're doing things.
The ministry need maintenance.
And the ministry need maintenance. Honestly, the ministry need maintenance. And we would have been talking about, I think you were pushing something earlier as it relates to another topic before we went back to just clarify the licensing authority.
The police certificate carry?
Police certificate.
Yeah,
so
police certificate.
Some of the I'm just reading Violet Diamond. Some of the same people that are in the state. Well, you read that.
No problem.
You know me.
Some of the same people that in the state outline is the same people who was driving without insurance, but now see they can't hide and enforce at the last minute. So what she's saying here now is that it would have seen that a lot of people who are out there doing illegalities had to come at the last minute before September 30th to get everything sorted out. Well, you always find that. Yeah, you always find that some of the thing, and obviously that was the reason also for taking off the road tax. Correct.
To also because the fact that a lot of people were illegal on the streets, and the government would have recuperated some cash from there.
Right. Dario Quimby was saying just too last minute, in my opinion.
And that's true.
Now that police cracking down on these stickers on the plates, they want to rush to license authority and put themselves in positions to be in a long line. Omar Dyer said you should be able to pay online and have the sticker mailed to you, or you should be able to walk in and collect. Another thing too was that the insurance. Some people were arguing that your insurance company, because since you have to go and get the book, the certificate, of insurance to carry to licensing authority, some people argue that what might be a bit more easier.
Yeah, but the thing was they were saying is that if the insurance share the card, the sticker, Remember, you're going to license authority to get information put also into their system
Oh,
to show that you paid.
Correct.
But just to touch on that, you know that those stickers are not printed. Those
I think the bottom ones.
no. If you go to license authority, those stickers are. I get to see because you can see through the glass. Are sitting down there by the month, so they're just
They're
prepackaged. So they're
Okay.
stickers. Just when you put in the information, she decide if you're going to expire a month,
Right, so
October
they give you
month,
one
or
month.
things like that. That's how they do it.
Right, so Barry Jordan told us, thanks Barry. Barry Jordan is saying the sticker is lawful. It was passed in the Road Traffic Amendment Act 2018.
Thanks, Barry.
Thank you.
Just want to say good evening to Dario, that's my brother.
Hey Dario, what's up? Big up man, thanks.
My
Thanks for
sister is
calling
on Kaniko Mangia.
in.
Pardon me?
Kanika Mangia. Let's you call her family. Kanika Mangia. Let me say that one.
Kanika Manga. Kanika,
She's
welcome.
African? She's African?
She's Beijing.
Hey, Beja.
Really, no.
Well, come on. We know people know calling children also our names.
Yeah.
The other thing is that we wanted to touch on as well, and we want your views, we want your feedback.
Yeah.
What is your thing? How irritated you are? How frustrated you are? If you had to experience this license authority ordeal. The other thing is the garbage problem, man. We've been
Lord.
seeing
Garbage, listen, I don't even want to talk about garbage because I'm driving everywhere. Garbage to
but
me
driving.
is...
What you want? Are you host?
Alright then. Driving, let me tell you
I
something.
had a pickup, I think yesterday. So.
After how long? After how long?
No, usually we in Bashar usually get a pickup.
Regular.
Oh, but the botanical garden site is on. Yeah, Bashar living at
Move to Bashar, Barry.
Move to Bashar and get a
Move to
garbage
Bashar
collector.
if you
But
want
no,
to
it is as a nationwide problem. You know, water, it affects a lot of people. But you can say that the water issues really have been felt in the,
Right, we gotta
in the
talk
country.
about that
But we'll
next,
talk
for
about that. But this
Yeah.
whole issue with garbage, I mean, you're driving on the streets from the countryside to the city side to urban areas, suburban areas. The garbage is just mounted up. And I mean, I see rats doing push-ups and doing crunches until the rats getting big.
The thing is for me is that I where I live, right? Without telling you where I live on here. The garbage truck came up by me. But it only came through one gap.
Yeah, that
and
happens.
skipped the other
It
skipped my
happens.
gap.
It
And I'm
happens.
like, so wait, I also signed up now ready to give my garbage back. But the garbage truck went down the further gap. And it was like it got like 5 gaps, you know. But it missed out about 4 gaps, and then I see garbage truck heading going so down the road.
Yeah.
And gone. And I said to myself, but what about the people through 4th, 5th Avenue, 6th
That's
Avenue,
right.
7th Avenue? The garbage, as I was trying to understand how is garbage collection done, especially in areas that got like
The multiple avenues.
Multiple
I mean,
avenues.
I live in Country View Estates. That's St. Patrick's Side Christchurch.
what
Right?
they big call it stairs.
Well, let's call it that. But you will find the garbage truck will pass, and
Well, that's
sometimes it skip gaps. I think that's
So the
standard.
skip yeah.
Oh, I
It
know
skip gaps, and
because
then another truck. They will say that there's one truck that covers the top road, which will be Sweet Street in that area. Then another truck will come back another day or another few weeks and cover down development.
well,
And that's the problem.
as for my area, I know the road before mine. There's a specific truck that goes through that road because the road is smaller.
It's a smaller truck.
So a smaller truck goes through that
Right.
road, and then the bigger truck comes and service the other bigger areas.
Let's hear your views if you have any problems with garbage. I hope that they can come to your areas.
But 3 weeks is
3
too long for
weeks? I've been
garbage.
for 6 weeks, more than 6
But
weeks.
that's unsanitary. The flies, the vermin,
Everything.
the wild dogs and cats.
And the top it off is we be agents.
So wait, question. So what's the longest time that you had?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. So do you leave the garbage there, or do you put it in your vehicle and take it to?
No, that's the thing. That's the thing.
I
That's
leave mine
a
right
dangerous practice. That's a dangerous practice.
You mean which one carrying it in your car?
Nah, carrying it in your car and then dumping it, because any person that knows, you know how dangerous are, that's throwing things through the window. A normal person may not necessarily put garbage in their car and carry it to the dump. They might drop off somewhere short. They might say a collection point, because sometimes that's what we do. We drive the road and see where they got garbage there. And we throw it with the whole amount of garbage that's there. So I think that's dangerous. You shouldn't really practice that. For me, like, we try to take out the garbage, we would freeze meats and other stuff. You know? But the problem now is that when you put that in the garbage and you expect the truck to come the following morning. But I said that up by me used to be a Monday 4 morning kind of pick up. I think Monday morning pick up. You will put the garbage out, and then the truck will come Monday morning. So anything that frozen will stink and break down. And it's easy then for them, because I mean, you're not letting that juice and all the juice and You don't want all that nastiness.
Okay.
But I like for people like me that just show my garbage outside. I'm sorry, I just take my garbage and throw it because I think
That's
that
not being a responsible citizen.
it may not be a responsible, but responsible will become a collect it, huh? But because at the end of the day, a lot has not been done.
Yeah, man.
To kind of put Barbados to the mindset of separating meat versus aluminum versus
Plastics.
what can be recycled or what's not. There's not a lot that is being done.
Unless you get
And it's not catered for.
I don't see me. I don't. But no,
For
I
me,
think you
For
should.
me, I'm talking plastic bottle. Everybody does that. Instinctively, we take out plastic bottles.
If I got money, my neighbor
you
is
rinse
big.
it out. Yeah, if a man come and want the bottles fine, or sometimes when I shop in a cart, I get a little store credit. And I got 10 or 15 bottles, they get a little $2.50, $2.50. All depends on how much bottles they like. Around Christmas time, a lot of redeemable stuff now.
You know, you should go a community man as by waste. Like a community man. Rather than saying, because here's what. If a man live in, say, Philip.
You do that route.
No, you ain't gonna drive all the way to sell you stuff to St. Thomas down there by King Garden.
No.
So I think that what these organizations need to do is to see if they can set up community points. Whether use somebody's house and put container or kind of things on land.
Lots of large
Put a
skips.
skip in an area and have that as a recyclable skip for or fridges or things. Well, no, I
we don't educate them. You gotta say,
there's a lot more education, you know.
It's education. This skip only for metals.
So
This skip only for
so
plastic.
come on.
You might get the occasionally one or two.
In truck impossible, you in 3 weeks time, you got a big able skip there that the dog collect bottles. You gonna put yours in this.
So that's why I said the money.
You're right.
I got a friend of mine that he have a business collection in terms of attack on some as well. And he also do like landscaping. And he told me he got no skip for when he go pick up like grass or whatever from whatever residential area. He would then bring it back and put it in his skip. He said he got people know you find Pampers and all this stuff.
Hence the reason why I say you find somebody with a property and work with that person and let the persons in that area go as a community point to drop off the metal and the recyclable. And the truck will come there. So that way nobody can come there and take up. And that's a job. Because you have somebody that got a good piece of property and ain't working. And will let the late job collecting and sorting.
Yeah, that's money.
That's money. And that has nothing to do with government. That's between like Jose and and all of those bees and stuff like that. If you have any views, let us hear.
You got Paul Chestnut here.
Welcome, Ian.
Yeah, hi Ian.
Hey, Paul,
and Fabian. And the Manny Bass joined. Okay. Paul Chestnut. So he says, where do you put the barcode? I have my own on my disc display on the inside. I'm hearing that you have to put it on some place in the cubby hole. In my opinion, that is nonsense. People can break into your vehicle and the first place they will go is the cubby hole. Well, basically, for what I understand, you put the barcode on the disc, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put the barcode on the disc. You don't have to affix the disc to the window anymore, but the windscreen anymore. So about the city, you can put it in your cubby hole. That's what they tell you to do. But even if somebody breaks your car and steal it, the thing about it is that they may not have the same make car as you, so they ain't gonna work, or the same registration. So somebody breaks in your car and tries to steal that, unless they drive the same model and make car as you, it doesn't benefit them.
What I thought, right, honestly, is that I would have, it is being far-fetched again, that at the back of the car, I would have looked to put that barcode and affixed to the front or to the back, so that and the police be given a barcode scanner. That when they go and scan it, everything about that car shows up, and if it's not the owner, you will know.
Yeah.
If it is not the car, you will know.
I just someone that, as far as I know, police go walk into the center to get information.
Okay, but here's what. We are in an age of technology. Let me show you all something. My company builds app. And there ain't nothing wrong with getting an app or giving the police a phone.
Yeah.
And when you put a particular and there's like a barcode, a QR code,
correct.
And there's an app that is only allowed to the police, so they can sign in. And once they come to your car, plop, and that information reads.
But
well said.
I just made that app for the government.
I don't even think you need to expense the government.
What expense?
I don't even think you could even expense the government by letting them buy phones for these policemen. They already have phones already.
That's it.
All it is, you see it. You see it, you create. The policeman, they get information from the station, they sign in, and they log into the same app. And they're able to scan the same with their own personal phone.
Fair enough.
Therefore, even the police that off duty, he got your phone, and you see anything that mischievous, He could check it.
But the point is, you
on
can't
the-
force anybody to use their personal phone for public work. So
Yeah,
what I'm just saying is,
get them a separate
so
phone.
I'm not saying you have to even give them. If they're willing, it's an app
Download the app
that
to
they
the
have to
phone.
just sign in. Let's say the police code is 9999, constable, and when you're signing in, you can type in 9999 and a password. So that means the app is registering the police, they're justifying the police.
We got a comment from
But
Dario Quimby.
it's easy.
Dario is saying here, I agree with the idea of having skips. Government does not have enough trucks to service 11 parishes. Having private contractors to put down skips or collect
A
garbage.
skip is only $11 a day.
Right, that's nice. Would ease the build up of garbage in some areas. This garbage problems are Violet Blenman. She's saying the garbage problems are causing people to burn indiscriminately. When people do this, it's a matter of life and death for people with asthma. It's true.
And they're burning any and everything.
Yeah, a lot of hazardous toxic things they're burning. That's right. Paul Chester said, I agree with the guy in the middle. I guess that's you. Dario Quimby. Also, skips should be placed in areas that have more garbage than others.
Correct.
And the owners who put down these skips should check on them every 3 days or so and remove them once they are full and replace them with a number. And Dario Quimby is agreeing. He said, yeah, boy, garbage collection in Barbados is very poor. All right. Omar Dyer says, yes, I totally agree.
Right,
So,
welcome,
man.
more.
Yeah, we're welcome, guys. So we definitely need that. That community thing is a great idea. And I
Yeah.
pray that those who are able, you're listening, take it and put it into Beijing reporters.
Yeah.
That we need to have that
Collection point, community collection point.
Just find
skips.
somebody in a community that is willing to take on the mantle of allowing that area to bring their money and bring those recyclable. And I sure know that person could also make money by carrying it to Bees Bottling or Williams.
But you can call Bees or
Williams.
They will come.
Correct, they will collect. So
They will
these are Jose. These are guys that willing
quite sorted already.
going into and it's sorted. So those are ideas that we bring in. But on this listening thing, a simple app. A simple app. I am into app building. If anybody want to check out some of my apps, like Beijing Alert or Government Listens, Government of Barbados Listens, GOB Listens. And those are apps that we've been building for government.
Nice.
There's also apps that are like Boss Listens and those that we've been building for the businesses. And Beijing Alert put out a lot of alert as it relates to natural disaster, wanted persons, missing persons, school closures, airport closures. So we put out all sorts of alerts. In real time. So what I'm just saying, it is there. If we build a simple app and we can scan these barcodes and we know that these barcodes are associated with the cars, you are in a better position. But you cannot say that somebody take my license plate off the back of my car and there's no justification, there's no knowledge to that police officer that is Kimar Safri plate at the back of the money car. Yeah. And at the same time, it is not lawful or unlawful for me to have a sticker put in the car. So every day, boys, forget it. Well, let me check in the police station later. You give me 24 hours to go and carry my information. Who's to say or what is to say?
That's right.
So there's a lot of things that need to be fixed.
There's a lot of implications because in terms of crime and stealing vehicles and stolen vehicles, it is a racket. You can see clearly that there's some loopholes that people could do a racket with these
funny
stickers.
enough, only yesterday, a friend of mine told me a police friend of his called him and told me, you still have this license plate number, and he called the registration number. He said, yeah. He said, but I just see a car with that plate on it, and the plate is actually on an SUV. I think a RAV4.
Wow.
He said, but I just see a car with that plate on it. So these kind of things are happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we have to. I think that when things are of this nature is happening, what I find always is, and there's I'm not being disrespectful here, but we always look to the PhD, GDP, EDP, or CDP people with all these titles and letters, right?
Alphabets.
That we go to, but they're not the grown people, you know.
True.
So what my question is, where would be the involvement of the Road Safety Association in this?
That's right.
Where would be all of those advocates that are on the ground that are involved in road safety networks or road safety as it really are road consultation?
That's right.
Where are their involvement so that these are credited by saying also involved in this was it? I find far too much times in government before and sometimes now in government now that they invite you to these first round consultations, but never to the final other consultations.
So the blue paper, the yellow paper,
the
green
paper,
paper.
not anything. And I made it. I know who I am in society, and I'm not by means being cocky or arrogant. I know my name is Kimar Staffrey, and I know I have a public or a national profile. And sometimes when people call and say, I want you to be a part of this consultation, and they say, is the media going to be there? Yes. And the first round is the media, but the second round you don't get invited because the media don't be at the second round. But when people look on the TV, they see Kimar Staffrey. They see the man is small, they see Simon. And people feel good, yeah boy, Kimar was there, the man was there, Simon was there, but they never know we're in a part of the committees. We're in a part of the final draft. We're in a stakeholder, we're in a mayor holder and our whole holder. Always was the first was a camera shot.
That's right.
And that is why I'm very careful how I involve myself
in certain projects.
Because if you're not giving me a seat at the table because of my constituents I serve, they don't call me for the camera glimpse. So at these things, when I look say these things, is the fact that we are having so much consultations around these things, but not with the right people.
You got 2 comments.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, man.
Violet Lemon is saying, we don't want no big ugly skit that might sit for a week. We want the trucks we are paying for. Paul Chestnut, he has said, I think we are paying too much money for garbage collection and ain't seeing no trucks. People paying sewage tax that got paid toilets, that is so unfair.
I think the minister as well, the minister as well needs to look at that. That would have been the minister of Beautification and Environment, because at the same time you're saying the trucks were supposed to arrive at a particular time. Now we saw the whole, as some people would quote unquote call it, the whole shebang as it relates to when you were bringing in this one particular truck. But then no, you're saying it's supposed to arrive on this particular time, and then you're not seeing it. What I find as well with this administration is that we are pushing back too much things. So they're coming to market fast by saying we're going to bring this on October 1st. But then we're hearing now we have to push it back. We saw it with the hospital, with the clinics. We saw it with a number of other projects. We can understand schools. Well, schools are different. You can't beat me with that one. But then we can understand that there are certain things that really is beyond the control of certain. But what I'm just saying is effective communication is needed.
Yes.
You cannot allow the Prime Minister to be always the mouthpiece. Now, now, if you're going to say to me, the truck's supposed to come on October 1st, I believe you should know by September 28th, 29th,
trucks coming on.
That way you could then bring to the general public the understanding that the trucks will not be here. But while the trucks are not going to be here, what is the alternative till the trucks get here?
Are you going to employ, for example, going back to the community skips, or employ a private contractor or 1 or 2 private contractors per area? Is that something that ministers will do, or members of parliament will do for their constituents? They just say, okay, well, as minister, I'm going to partner with, I mean, there are a lot of small haulers up there, a lot of small haulers and things.
I want a job.
I want a job, and you can give them some money for that. Similar, as minister for member of parliament for, say, for the North, for example, or wherever, I am going to like sponsor the truck or garbage collection for a week or 2 until the garbage is collected on a regular for my area.
What I felt about the money, when the money made the statements that he's from Bushon. One of the things I find remiss, and obviously is politics at play. I don't see why, because it's a particular area of the, let's say the minister of the MTW over MTW. I don't see why people in St. Lucie get all the garbage collect. And this is by chance, I'm not saying it's happening. I don't see why all the people in St. Lucie should get it because the minister of MTW.
All the roads in St. Lucie getting fixed.
All the roads in St. Lucie getting fixed because of this, but then they got other parts that are being neglected. Because you can't come for yours. Yes, you want to vote. Yes, you're gonna want to get back in. But at the end of the day, you still have a larger constituency to serve.
Although I fully agree with you, Jones beat first, and I have my constituency in the ministry that I managing and getting deal with. That you look bad on me.
No, it's supposed to get deal with, but I said don't overly deal with it though. That the rest is neglected.
No, I ain't saying don't neglect, but
Jones beat first.
Yeah, you got.
I get what you're saying.
I will beat you on John first, because you're the minister of.
Yes. But the member parliament for that area, you represent the constituency.
Paul here is saying that statement the minister made that he ain't Jesus Christ. You got to be careful. Majors might make him pay the next election.
You're right.
Yeah, I think that was
He was upset probably, or he was.
I understand being in public life. And we all make these mistakes.
Moses. Instead of speaking to the rock, he got angry and struck.
He got angry and struck. But remember, Moses did pay for it too, huh?
Yeah.
Remember too that if it was Jesus Christ, I think it would be fixed.
Yeah.
But
we didn't vote for Jesus.
But we didn't vote for Jesus Christ. We vote for the minister. We didn't vote for him to be a minister. We vote for him to be an MP. But he was given a charge of a ministry.
Correct.
At the same time, it's how you say. I think that's why I'm always fond of Mimoti. That she know how to deal with situations as it relates to even if it's a flared up situation. She
brings calm, and that's what a leader does. A leader brings clarity and reassurance, and I think you'll find that once Bajans hear, especially in this dispensation, they hear from the Prime Minister a lot. It's comforting for a lot of people, but because it's good to hear that your leader is saying, well, this is what the situation is. I am dealing with it. Hold on with me, whatever.
But with the same token, the ministers need to take a lead from the book of the minister.
That's what I was going to say.
How to address
correct, but with the same token, it makes a lot of the ministers look bad that your Prime Minister has to speak on behalf of your ministry repeatedly.
It is.
Repeatedly.
And I don't think it should be something that should continue.
It can't continue because people are getting upset. People are used to be called in programs. People are upset. They say, well, look, be here the Prime Minister. I tell what the ministers, and you know, you got the biggest cabinet ever in the history of Barbados. What are these people doing?
Yeah, so I mean,
that's what people are saying.
No, it is warranted, and it is something that is. I was listening to the call
program.
Hosted by my good friend Corey Lane today.
Corey did.
And I heard some serious things that were being addressed today, and some frustration. I mean, our talk show DeBrief topics, and we just bring in nitty-gritty. We're not a brass staff.
No.
But at the same time, we have to look at what people are looking at. We have to look at the fact that people are outside frustrated. People are not too au fait with what is being transpired right now as it relates to a lot of things. So we still have to look at that. We talked about, we could delve into the water authority issue.
Yeah.
Now, I've heard people talking about the cost, and I don't think people know how the $72, $74, whatever is broken down. That people are saying that
sewerage and some is water.
Right. I think a larger percentage is to the sewage. If it was supposed to be for the sewage, I think, and then a little bit it was supposed to go to the garbage. I think $150 to garbage.
And $150 $140 or something.
Yeah, something so. We still stand correct. If you have the correct information, post it.
The thing is that some people were saying the $45 stars the garbage or the sewage, sorry. Is even more than what the bill was before.
That's right, but double for some people. Double bill, water bills actually doubled. I saw how mine really jumped through the air. I mean, my water bill went up.
You washing your car?
Wash car. They got people who can go to let them wash their car. I got a friend. I got a guy in 6 rows that does a good job. They wash cars and valet. They pay that $20.
Yeah.
Get a nice wash and a valet.
You live in the estate, you could pay that.
Oh Lord, that's once a month. Or once every 2 or 3 weeks.
But yeah, I think that the water thing need to come out a little bit. I know people were frustrated with the FTC ruling of not giving back the funds, and that's always been a problem with me. And I remember writing like a power years ago when my light went out, and I had 2 ice cream parlors on a stretch, and my light went out, and it was like, who the hell can pay me back for my ice cream?
That's right.
So that's a problem. So imagine you got water your plants, you stock, if you're a farmer thing and water outage, you're forcing water from one point to the other point by shutting off one light. These things have to be looked at, that people have to be compensated and obviously if the FTC the rule that the water authority had to compensate people, they'd probably regret again.
Correct. Because you're paying, and that's what has people. You're paying for a service and you're not getting it. You're not getting it in a timely manner, or in some instances you ain't getting it at all. And what the people in St. Joseph and other the rural areas were saying is that, look, there's no change in my water bill. If anything, I'm still paying the same amount, and I did not get service. I did not get service for a whole month.
Correct. Hey Rick, student in all the way from Trinidad. Welcome. So we have some regional people checking in on us.
All right.
Yeah. And I think that these things need to be looked at, because people want to be I don't think people have a problem in general to some degree paying things, but people don't want to be unfair while being paying. So if you know that you turn off my water, I believe if my water pressure low and they're getting less amount of water coming through, then it should reflect on my bill. if you're shutting off water and you're moving water to one parish to another parish to let my brothers and sisters get, then I should see the reflection on my bill.
You're not seeing it.
But you're moving water. If I go home at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, I may not be seeing any water, but yet the water bill is the same.
Something is wrong.
Something is wrong. And I think that Barbadians are generally persons that are willing to pay or willing to go with the whole flow. But at the same time, I don't think that Barbadians want to be treated bad.
No.
Or the other side, the way how the licensing authority officers are dealing with people, it is not fair. The way how you're going into some government offices and being treated for services that you're coming, is like there's something that you go into certain places. I remember going off topic right here. I had a problem, and I called the Royal Borough Police Force, and I was talking to the officer, and I was explaining my problem. But 2 hours come and no police ain't come. I call back the police station and I explain my problem. Man, they shout at me, "Holla, boss, you think it's the only problem we got to deal with, though?"
Oh dear, he was frustrated.
He frustrated, and he said, "Sir,
take it up on you,
sir. With all due respect, if I had killed somebody, would it be a top of the list? You understand?" And he said, "Oh, you can talk with that foolishness." I said, "No, but I asked you a simple question. If I had killed somebody, would it be a top of the list?"
Of course.
Yes. I said, "Well, good. Before you kill somebody, come to let me get the top of the list." Because if you understand the stupidity which he's going with, and if you're frustrated, you can't deal with people.
But lack of interpersonal training.
And that's what I always say. If you're calling certain people, that's why in America, when you call 911,
you gotta train.
They stay on the line with you. If you even make a missed call, they call back and say, "Sir, if you make a missed call and they don't hear you when they call you back, then they send a unit." So you have to understand, and that is why I think that the police commissioner or whoever would have made a comment about the 7,000 or 8,000 reports of bumper traffic that they have been dealing with, and I think that they need to find a company or the insurance company to deal with bumper to bumper, and small issues, and then they will deal with major accident, because it's too much that you're taking them. And they understand the frustration, but he had to understand mine too. I was about to kill somebody.
Correct.
You understand? So you go come quick to the situation, but these guys have no interpersonal skills.
True.
And that is what has been crippling Barbados in a large portion in terms of services, that no matter how much training you give these people, they have no broad toxification. So what?
I like that.
You know, I that many word. You understand? They have no connection to people.
And we got coming here from Barry Jordan. He's asking us, what do you all think about the recent announcement regarding the upgrade of the Bridgetown and South Coast plants in order to recover the wastewater for further use?
I think it's a good idea. But once again, Barry, the challenge will be the inconvenience to those persons on the South Coast, the businesses, as well as in Bridgetown. Right. Remember that when you shut down a sewage plant, you are affecting so many businesses and residences that are connected to it. It has to be done. Boy, we know we have sick wells, but it's not an easy situation to deal with. And you don't want a situation where you shut down the South Coast. I mean, there was one gas station not too far from Chill.
And that recovered.
That gas station shut down.
But you're not ready to open a business in that area for offices, for people to like a cubicle office. And when they call people to come and rent the space, you know, at that time of the last administration and the sewage problem, people said, "No, I'm coming down there because I mean to drive through you have a hole, you know, and go through that whole stretch." So it understood, and so it would really affect people. The man, you got another one to read?
Violet Lemon is saying, in other circumstances, if we were not paying for garbage, neighborhoods would together and pay private haulers to move garbage, but we are paying too much to this. We should be demonstrating out on the street. Paul is saying, talking about the Prime Minister on behalf, I think she made a boo-boo when she spoke on behalf of the Minister in Ministry of Finance when dealing with the medically unfit money that removed for the people involved. She should have let him handle it, because it was him in the firing line that would have been giving him a good political boost.
Fair enough. Yeah, but it goes back to the point we mentioned earlier. The minister's got to hold it own way and step up and speak.
Yeah.
We had a situation before where people said that under the previous administration you didn't have any communication.
Well, we knew that was a fact.
Yes, but now we have a situation now where we have a bit too much communication from one person.
Yeah.
Right? So it appears as if a lot of micromanagement going on. That might not be the case. That might not be the case. But ministers gotta step up to bat, man.
But not only that, what we have to appreciate too for all the viewers is that a lot of the ministers, and I would may say a lot, are freshmen. A lot of these ministers from the Ministry of Finance
After 15 months, it's the freshman.
Yeah, after 15 months.
After a year,
the last time Michelle was 10 years in and still get everything wrong.
I know, I can't agree with that.
Right, that's a dirty joke.
I know.
But at the same time, what we could appreciate is that if these are ministers that are looking to stay in this portfolio longer, because it is anticipated that the government may be in power for the next 10 to 15. Now, at the end of the year, right? I mean, some may not agree, but at the end of the year, it is predicted. I'm only going with the prediction of what people are saying.
You need to invite Peter Wickham here. I would like to.
Yeah, we must have Peter Wickham to talk about.
So give me some statistics and
Will.
projections.
But you don't need a prophet to even get that one. But at the end of the day, we have these ministers are very young in politics and very young in things, but we are also seeing the major problem coming from a lot of these senior ministers, especially coming into the Minister of Transport.
Correct.
Now, when we saw that issue with the issue of the cutting of the checks, I know we would have saw Kurt Humphrey. He would have talked to us, stepped up to it, even though he wasn't the minister. And then you didn't hear much from the Minister of Finance and then the Prime Minister addressed it.
Yeah, she did.
And that is always my problem. That, as I said earlier in the show, too much addressing by the Prime Minister for these ministers.
Man. Too much.
These ministers need to speak. I'm hearing even so with a lot of chairmen, especially we've seen a lot of, especially with the transport issue. We're seeing so much problems in the transport problem. Even let's go on that. Even with the
transport, man.
Even with the transport authority. Now you are saying to the people that are loading vans, 5 minutes. That is ridiculous. 5 minutes to get people loaded and then you're going to move off the line. Now, that's ridiculous. We've also seen where they've...
That can only work there was a ticketing system where people then go make change and get on the people.
That's monkey thing that is coming out. We've seen that they've, out of this, also formed 2 or 3 unions. Because the Apple was formed.
Apple's around.
And then it was one for the owners. There was one for there was 2 for the owners. I remember serving, and then there became 1 for the workers. And that Fabian Walter, who's now the head of the general manager for Transport Board. So we are seeing transport authorities making a lot of ruling and enforcing these rulings, especially with the uniforms and stuff. I wish I get happy.
You want good behavior on the PSBs.
PSB, sure, but these PSB men still behaving bad and loud music. I work on to the street. And when you see the amount of students come, and this is where the police fall down to, there's not enough manpower, but obviously because they have a lot of rules and regulations that they need to change. But and they told the police, and they will say publicly here, the police need to get a BDF and do reserve police. Because I will serve as a reserve police. Honestly.
Not with your temperament, no.
But a lot of them got temperament worse than mine. But not go there. But at the end of the day, I will serve as a reserve police.
But as a bill, that's a cost. That is a
cost. No, you have shortage. I think the shortage was about 200 plus or almost 300 plus.
But they said, but ain't really so much that. But we got young people coming forward to be police. But you know what? They failing drug tests. But
the graduation the other day was about 20 people.
But the boy want to be police,
man. I would be.
You're right. They ain't paying enough money for me to be
But I'm saying we got a lot of people in BDF. We got a lot of people in BDF that we need to either make them police officers.
So
you understand? Or we need to
but the military already do all these civilian issues. But I get what you're saying.
But no, listen.
Not supposed to.
If we don't start to fight, if you have listen, they said that the average amount of garbage trucks for Barbados, the service Barbados is 35. I'm sure that there's more than 35 trucks in Barbados between private race haulers.
Of course.
Now here's what: if we don't use them, we will always get a problem. If you are shortage by 400 police and you could use reserve police, make people come into the sports as reserves, and get shifts like night shifts or day shifts, and then go back to the
it's not easy, real. Yeah,
easy. You
easy,
have
real.
to do something.
That's something that could be looked at.
Even if you do it temporary, but no, the
wage.
police have the money to pay because the money. If you're coming out and you're saying, I need 200 and they're looking for 200 police. Obviously, you got money there to pay them. Right.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, just like the army has a reserve,
I agree with you,
including full-time army men that is not so much needed. Why can't we have a police reserve? Because you know, years ago you used to have island constables.
But you still got no?
Still got a few, but them old now.
They can't carry a baton.
Yeah, a lot of that's old.
Them is old. My next door neighbor was a community police too. What I'm just saying is,
but real police that can actually
police officers, reserve police officers that can come and help with the load is needed.
Doing like shift or or whatever.
You have to find.
Yeah,
you have to find solutions to fix the problem.
Agreed.
If not, you're gonna get foolish police like the one I call, make angry and frustrated. Not at me, might say, but because of the system and the situation and the mother cause. But to me, he foolish because of how he behave.
And I see you the only problem.
And then the only problem. But then my problem, it just takes certain things to escalate problems. And so that problems cannot escalate, you need enough manpower.
True.
So you have to be able to put solutions. Barbados has to move to a place that even if it's a temporary solution and the ministers need to run to cabinet or run to parliament to make these amendments go ahead. Because we've seen it in the past.
It will help.
We need to make too much time we sitting down waiting for a long haul quick fix, and we got some temporary solutions that could work. We need to stop it, and we need to get the people of Barbados knowing that the people that you elect getting the things done.
True.
Temporary fix is not a problem.
True. You got some comments there?
Dario Kimby again.
He said also garbage trucks should be equipped with a shovel and broom like
Man,
how they were back in the day.
Yeah, they still do.
Just you put the garbage that
I never seen one.
Man, the fellas got them.
Keep the street clean. I think they have.
We have to bring garbage in here too.
That's Alf.
Alf. We
Yeah, man, get Alf. We try to get Alf.
You try to bring Alf.
But the problem, at the end of the day, we gotta get kudos to the Sanitation Service Authority when it comes to major events. There are marches that crop over and mass crowd events.
Correct.
Because they just come in their numbers en masse and they clean all the way up. By the time you done jump, you look back with it, everything clean.
But
we're talking about the day-to-day running takes a toll on the vehicles as well as the staff. Then you got a situation where the Sanitation Service Authority is understaffed because some of their workers went home.
Yeah, but okay, what we need in Barbados is, and they hear town hall meetings, they hear public consultations, they hear all this. Talk shop. You know, for me, it's just talk. What we need to do is we need to have like pages where people can send in solutions.
But I think Sanitation Service Authority got some kind of social media presence.
But again, the social media presence
but is it being monitored?
It's not big.
So what I'm saying is that a person should be able to write in a complaint and say, well, look, I'm in whatever place or the music on the program. I live in Charnock, I live wherever. We have not seen the garbage truck in 3 weeks. Please come and deal with this issue.
I think there needs to be a government complaints authority. A government complaints authority.
Please, there's a number you can call.
No.
Yes.
Numbers that people don't answer, but what I'm just saying to you.
No, that ain't true, man. Some people get through.
Trust me. Create a number for calling to complain.
I
20
can
numbers.
tell you for sure. Some of my friends that have passed on the information, and the trucks come like next day.
But I know what they do though is that they help when it comes to dead dogs and things. They got that the pet patrol.
I think.
When you see a dead dog or cat,
it seems I had even recently I had like last week or before I had a dog or something dead old column outside, and the man been complaining about it for a long time and nobody can't pick it up.
So here's my point again. Barbados need a general complaints authority. I think that the time has come where it need to be a hotline Barbados, and I'm willing to help because I already set up the proposal for it already. I promoted myself if they don't promote, but I hope when listening. There needs to be a department, 24-hour department.
Who will staff it? Volunteers to staff it? You're volunteers to staff it?
No, hell no. I mean that Barbadians, workers. If you listen, one of the things that I find funny, you know, we just take millions and move to things as they come up. Now we saw when in the point when that whole well issue to come out, and that was sad.
Boy,
We found $2 million for whether it be from consolidated funds
or
wherever to assist building back the wells in the community that people have been complaining for years. No, here's what. I don't see why you can't take $1 million and put it, invest it into a general government complaints agency. Now with that agency, you have it as a 24-hour
operation,
and what you are doing now. This is how digital comes into play. You're funneling all the complaints of government through that channel, and those persons are sending out all those complaints digitally or calling the right people. Now here's the problem. On an average, I just let me use a minister as an example. A minister will see the man he calling and may not answer. But if he recognizes the number is coming from within his ministry, he may answer.
That's right.
So what I'm just saying is, if there's a general so that you don't get ambushed by all these calls.
True.
If somebody has a dead dog, you call, yes, there's a dead dog. I answer the call, ma'am, sir, good evening. When I have a dead dog in this area, ma'am, can you say where the dead dog is, wherever? And you say, okay, you're at the same time writing the ministry.
Yeah.
And you're saying, well, there's a report, there's a reporting of a dead dog in this area. Also, while you're writing it coming through as a text message onto them people that got government phones.
Fair enough.
And the heads will see, and they could go down to the middleman and say, hey, there's a dead dog. We need to move
dead dog, come move it.
That way, you're guaranteed that somebody is taking your message.
Seriously.
And they're passing it on. Because I know for sure that I've called certain government offices. They have to be calling back, because they may get the message yet. They may answer the phone yet.
Or they see your number.
Or they see your number and tell themselves that saying. So what I'm just saying is, if there's a general agency that you can send these information to, and they're funneling the information to email and through text messages, that way, and if it's not fixed, or when it's fixed, they can send back they can say reported is fixed. So that if you ever have the person number, you can say, ma'am, sir, the problem was dealt with. Is it dealt with to your satisfaction? These are things that make a country great, you know.
True.
Not the fact that you come about here, this create jobs in the sense that we ain't talking about the government have to run it either. You can give it to a private company.
Yeah,
and the private company could, with the permission, with the thing is that that says, if you take the contract, you go use some of the people that retrench.
Right.
So you guarantee now that the returns were and the government, they have to be on the government books, but you're passing the information on, because too much of you calling hotlines that ain't working.
They're working.
So what are they for? They're hot and sweaty?
The cold line.
So I am just saying, while we are here debriefing and talking, that we also give solution for those that are watching.
I agree.
And we are asking any media houses to take out these points and run it. But credit the show, huh? Don't credit yourself, credit the show. But at the end of the day, we have to get serious that our time, and the thing is about the debrief and about what is going on is, us as young people here are the ones with the ideas.
Yeah, we're the future, man.
We're the future.
Correct.
We're the ones on the ground. We got bright ideas. And if you don't start taking from us, it can't always be about the PhD and the doctorates and all of these fancy titles and people that have been in profession for 90 years behind a desk but haven't gotten on the street. So I'm not taking away from those people either, because those people have valuable insight. But I'm just saying at the same time, we have rich ideas. Take it from us.
Barry Jordan was saying, I wonder when, this early one that been done. I wonder when the Easy Pay platform will start to accommodate these payments.
We don't even know when Easy Pay will come on.
Right.
Because
solutions, there was an ideas for Barbados Forum that collected a bunch of ideas. What became of that?
Was it which administration did you collect it under?
It happened on the last administration?
I don't know, I'm just asking.
There was an ideas for Barbados Forum.
Which administration
that collected a bunch of ideas. What became of that?
The last administration ideas was only their ideas.
I'm seeing that we were discussing some issues over the past week. Over the weekend I was watching the Democratic Labour Party had a forum on watching live on Facebook.
Well, let me see me just sit up for this.
and while watching, I saw my friend Aki Morris shirt on, also Mr. Healsley Ben.
Yeah.
After Mr. Ben had produced his what he had to say, a question was asked to him. And I personally like the comment that he made, where he replied and said, I'm a youngster. I think it was disrespectful. I think Kimar Stewart is a respectable young man. And
With ideas.
He's very educated with ideas.
Articulate.
New ideas. Modern ideas that are needed. Not like the ideas that were archaic, like what Mr. Ben was saying to the public. I personally think that not Mr. Ben should have apologized to Mr. Stewart. And he should not do that again. And I want other politicians and other persons or other leaders to take that and don't just come and say, oh, because you're a youngster. Come on.
I agree
We are
with
young, but we have ideas. We have modern ideas.
True. What I would say to that, though, and I would say this even to Kimar Stewart, keep saying what needs to be said. You will find that in society or even in any political organization, there's always resistance to a paradigm shift in thinking or in addressing certain things. Remember that within any political organization, people have their own personal opinion, which is not necessarily the opinion or the policy of the party. And so many times people get caught up in their own opinions. And that's the problem. How you feel about the matter may not necessarily reflect what the party's stance on the matter is. Because you might be saying, well, you know what, I don't like this whole thing about marijuana. But the party stance might be, you know what, we're about medicinal marijuana. However, we would want to see certain regulations and so on in place. But yeah, nobody, and I don't think, and even the young persons that are listening, don't let anybody discredit your youth. Don't let them use your youth to discredit your ideas or your opinion.
Why I find it strange, and I would think in terms of planning as a party, that when a party puts out information or put out their thoughts or their opinion on a particular topic, that the others would then come on board and they'll say have to say and support it. Only recently we would have had it last week. We would have had Miss Verla de Pisa on.
That's right.
And she supports having medical marijuana.
She does.
So it was it was actually contrary that the fact to come and see Mr. Halsey Ben going against it.
Giving his own opinion.
Going against his
giving his own opinion. I think he gave his own opinion.
Well, he might not see she's the leader either. But you know that's what it is. You know, and you might be a leader.
But there's one leader.
There's one leader. You know, everybody might not see Memoli as the leader of the country, but they have to respect the fact that the prime minister. Now, what I think is about it is that I'm a young person and I had to go over odds and fight some battles to get where you get, right? There's always these idiots, and I call them idiots, that make some stupid comments, right? Because sometimes you're showing up what they're saying is not relevant in the 21st century.
True.
And they only backlash sometimes is to say, you young. Like how Mr. Ben said, oh, he's 70.
Yeah.
If you're 70, you should be home on retirement, cocking up, you up on the beach and go somewhere. Because sometimes what you're saying is so irrelevant.
True.
But because you think that you still have relevance.
I believe that you have relevance when what you say makes sense.
No, I'm not taking away that you don't have substance. But at the same time, there's some things that, when you're choosing, especially the DLP as it choosing some of these people for the Astro B and stuff like that, that comes, and that's where I see, we're not talking about politics tonight.
But
we're talking about young people.
Started, so.
Yeah, we're talking about young people that
True.
pull back the people from saying, these people they're gone though.
Correct.
These people they're mad. Because some of the people that you're bringing to talk, well, you are saying one thing in one breath as a party, the person is saying
their own thing,
but the opinion is warranted, but let us say that in a ram shop.
Correct.
Or in a closed meeting. But to disrespect a young person like Kimar, I would have personally addressed it there and then. Because he will have I'm young, but doesn't mean that I can't give you my viewpoint. I'm young, just like how you are here with your archaic 1989 views. I respect them.
But I wonder not only that. You're saying he's 70 years old.
She's scoring 10.
I wonder where the LP has to resurrect that.
Anybody that is a member of the party and they express an interest to speak or present, they're given that opportunity. However, vetting, I believe that we need to vet what people say. That's very important.
So it shows lack of planning within the DLP still. And it is unfortunate they're out of government and they're still showing lack of planning in their party.
Well, we will rectify all of that. I want to invite all of you when I have to speak. I seriously always come true. When I speak, probably at one of the opportunity to speak. We've got pickle sauce and politics.
Yeah, you know, if you are allowed,
You're allowed in. Access is always the key.
You're allowed in. You just got, say, all right, then just come and
access may not be granted.
Access can be granted.
Yeah, because for sure, we support Simon Ali.
Thank you.
If not that we support Galley Apart, but we support.
Well, thank you, and I'm part of the LP, so thank you. I appreciate that. Second VP, man.
But yes, guys, we had a really good run today.
I think so too.
We really wanted to bring those issues, but I really feel
we got some good engagement.
Yeah.
But before we leave, I just want to take 4 minutes discussing and see that some of the teacher also as well. I want to bring up the issue with that those children at it was Lodge School, and those boys.
St. Leonard's?
No, it's Lodge. I think it was Lodge. The Lodge. Those boys that were sent home or given letter
for the
because
year.
they have
year.
And I mean,
it's one of the schools. Yeah.
I think that F is a rule
with Lodge School.
And you know, it's a coincidence that the picture that they put,
the
principal have locks and have a full beard or whatever. It's very strange.
It's very strange.
That a man with locks, I know before locks, a man with locks can't be working in that kind of position.
He's only acting principal though.
Acting, okay.
I think
if there's a rule, I personally think that these are rules that you have to.
Okay.
It's time for change, man. Come on. How you don't want to tell a young man? I mean, as men, we won't be growing up in secondary school, 15,
puberty and so on.
To have that little beard grow, their moustache, or even sideburns.
You feel good.
We feel good about ourselves. To not have the man cut off his little specks of beard. I mean, how would the young fellow think?
It's not good. I'm glad that you brought up that point, because we had a situation, I think it was at Harrison College, I believe. I think there was a principal that said that they want the girls' hair to be tidy. She was not in favor of the natural hair, or
you mean the
weave? Not weave, because we know that weave. That's
ban.
Yeah, there's a ban on weave.
Leave it alone.
Yeah, leave it alone. But when it comes to appearance, and that's where the parents of the children say about how does that impact my students or my child's education. I think that yes, rules have to be followed, but rules must also be questioned to see if they're still relevant. You know, because years ago, as a rule in this country, you had to be white and to own land to vote. But now we got universal adult suffrage. So everybody can vote at once you're the age of 18.
I've never heard, I mean, I've been to St. George School. That was school before. And I mean, we had men that was bearded like cows. And I've never heard that rule. That was the first time I've ever heard about beard, because
yeah, me too.
I see some men that were in school. I mean, right now, if I look kind of rough too, because I need to go get a little shave up and thing. But the building for the homeless got me, so I'm doing nothing till later. But I know that I've never heard it as a rule. Now, as agreed that if it is a rule, let us follow it as much. But as well as as you say, there must be adjustments. And you have to understand circumstances.
Correct.
Because a full man, like the man, will have to constantly probably shave on a regular to get away. A schoolboy may not be in the place where he's even to that level to know the shave.
It's just a couple of springs. Just a couple of springs.
You know. So we'll call it goatee, like what Simon.
Try.
You know. You may not be able to be at that manly stage to know that you're going to shave. You can get up, brush your teeth, and go to school. No, you don't want each other unkept.
No.
So I think that this is where now the ministry, and again, I know people can talk foolishness about money and all that, right? Again, this is where we need to, in the HFLE classes and those.
That's it.
We need to implement manhood classes.
Yeah, man.
We got
the men's that can do it.
Yeah, or
young men, social workers that can teach young men.
Thing, because this is when girls are going into those menstrual puberty purpose and periods in their life. So you need, any HFLE, you need to start to have some sort of grooming service.
Grooming topics.
And talk about how to dress, hygiene and all of that. Because this is a part of education. So when the men are coming, you say, okay, you're coming to school, you know you can't wear facial hair. So wear your razor, make sure you get Gillette tree blade. Keep yourself. Talk to boys about keeping the hair cut. Don't come looking rough like me. You know, so when we start to educate the young men and don't only give book sense, and when they get out in the real world, they don't have no real life sense. We need to start to educate our young people on the real life values, bringing people like us that are willing to volunteer some services
course.
to the government. It
So,
always have to be
you
about
know,
money.
it ain't about money.
But if it is your rule here, but I think that you can't abruptly do it.
True.
Because if these guys have been going to school for first, second, third form and have been having facial hair, then because you're now a principal, don't come out like a bullhorn. Work with your boys, work with your girls, and then go from there. Work with your parents.
For the parents.
Because
have
you have to
have a PDA meeting, talk about it. I know
So-
the boys going to hair thing.
Yeah.
I would rather that they just keep the hair neat or whatever.
Talk to them. If
But
they-
they tell them cut it off, and if not, you can get sent home or
It don't
there's a
mean
penalty.
But some is that an issue at Common also or no?
It isn't.
I think he probably that principal probably gonna make it an issue now, and that issue can be crossed the whole board.
But you will see that different generations, it was not an issue. Like back in my day, you said you went to school with boys that had so much facial hair,
Yeah.
and that was but they kept it well groomed.
Yeah.
But every school is different. Every school has a different culture.
Well, that's not
Right.
in school, you think, man. You go
Every
around.
school got a different culture, and what may suit one school culture may not be acceptable at another school.
Correct.
Yeah. So I think that's something to consider.
Guys,
That was good.
ladies all and gentlemen all that have been viewing us, we really want to thank you for tonight.
Had a
We
good
really want
time.
to thank you for tuning in. It's always good to have these
Thank
robust
you.
conversations. It's always good to debrief these topics. We love to come to you every Wednesday and Saturday at 6 p.m. and talk about issues.
Yeah.
We want you to like our page. We want you to share our page. We want you to follow us so that you know
Please.
where we are on. We're going to be having more conversation. We're going to be having guests. We're going to tune this Saturday as well to us. Anybody got anything coming up that they want to share? Because I know we don't put in that plug.
Yeah, that's
Anybody
true.
got anything
No,
coming up?
I
in
can
your
mention
parties
on
or
next week,
anything?
Saturday, this invitation goes out to all men in Barbados.
Good.
The men's group will be meeting at the Family Planning Association. The meeting will start around 4:30 or 4. So all are welcome, men only.
Men only, right?
Men only.
And this is run by Fabian Sargent.
Fabian
Fabian
Sargent.
Sargent. Good night to
Yeah,
Fabian.
so we're gonna plug anything happening
Yeah,
in your party, anything happening with you personally.
Oh, yeah,
what shows?
Right. Well, let's Ramacourt. We performing October 5th. This is at the Loiters Consignment Center, 8 p.m. This is for Let Me Laugh. So we Ramacourt, Nadia Phillips. We also got Alan the Entertainer from Trinidad, Chris Daly, Johnny Daly from Jamaica. We also have Rick, Matt Fingal, and yours truly, Ramacourt. Also, Sunday is the Cancer Walk, the Barbados
Yeah, but
Cancer
listen,
Society.
we need to go to that.
Yeah, we go.
I would love all
we
we
got
to
host,
go
we
to
got
that.
host it. Barbados Cancer Society and the breast screening program.
I gotta get my
Walk
hat
for
and
the
shirt
cure.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah,
I
we
want
can
my
be there.
staff and one boy to go to it.
We can be there.
Stuff like that. For me, I just want everybody. There's the Beijing Alert, the app that is out there that is alerting Barbados when it comes to natural disaster,
Somebody
hurricane,
can-
and everything.
they can
We
download
want you to download it. Beijing Alert. You can find it in the App Store or in the Play Store. We
Wow.
want you to download the app. We keep you alert. There's also the Beijing Alert page on Facebook. And we just want people to be alerted whenever there's a hurricane, tsunami, wanted person, missing person closure, school closure. So there's a number of things that we alert you on. So keep abreast on the page, and we will keep alerting you whenever there's anything going on, anything in Barbados that is needed to be to let the public know. I think that is it. I don't think there's nothing else going on. If you have anything doing on your days as well, feel free to post it to us, and we will definitely advertise you
Correct.
on here. But tonight we really had a good discussion.
Yeah, man.
And we just want to thank all the people like Paul Chestnut, Lenman, Darren Quimby, Barry Jordan, all you guys that would have given and keep
I
it.
just saw
keep it
just saw Jimmy Clark just sign on.
Jimmy Clark, yeah, all you guys.
More. Thank you all.
Thank you all
Thanks,
for
everyone.
tuning in.
Thank you so much.
Remember, we're here again Saturday at 6
Debrief the show.
p.m. to debrief. Again, I can't emphasize it as much. Like, follow, and share the link. And we will see you again this Saturday at 6 p.m. where we debrief. Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks.
Do have a good day. God bless.
Have a good evening.